Hey, welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. It's Friday and Drive Safe Dave. That means you've got another 3-day weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and you're probably off on Monday again.
No, I don't think I have a 3-day weekend. You know what? Of all the people that'll be here, I will probably be here Saturday and Sunday.
I don't know what you mean by that, but that's good because you're supposed to work. It's healthy for the heart. It's a good thing to do.
Is that what it is?
What's up with the stop lights there? They're all on at the same time. I think when you see that, you just run. You know, something's going on.
Traffic signal ahead, sir. That's what it means. Traffic signal ahead. You see this sign? Be cautious. Traffic signal ahead.
Hey, where do you see those signs at? I mean,
you see them all
sorts of signs. I'm just saying. Do you have them everywhere? Or are they usually in areas that maybe that the traffic stop signal may be hidden?
It might be hidden. It might be around a curve.
There you go.
It might be over a hill. It might be in multiple intersections. It might have a difficult to see it because you may have a lot of power lines, a lot of overhanging branches, and sometimes they come as a surprise. Or when you exit a freeway or you're coming off of a highway, there may be a traffic signal ahead. So this is just to indicate usually a quarter mile before the traffic signal, between a quarter mile and 500 feet before the traffic signal.
So something good for you to know. When you see that, it's really telling you that, hey, it's kind of hidden or it wouldn't be there. Right?
Exactly.
I mean, something.
Right. Be cautious. You're exiting a freeway, right? It's no longer a freeway. That happens a lot, like in California or whatever. You'll be driving and all of a sudden this highway is no longer a highway. There's a traffic signal up above you, and now all of a sudden you got to stop.
Got you. Drive safe, Dave. Hey, listen, I want to bring up it's Friday, so we want to get you involved again on Friday. So on Fridays, I want you to get up a little bit early, do another preacher, maybe do one twice to get that body kind of going because we want your involvement in here on the show. We want to hear from you. Drive Safe, Dave. We had the Goodyear Award where they announced their driver hero of the year. Pretty important thing, pretty big deal. And what we want to do today is, if we can, is we want to hear your stories. You know, I think it's so healthy, Dave, for us to brag on ourselves. And there's probably no better example than you. You always brag on yourself. You're not bashful about that at all. But we want to hear your story because, again, as we look at this image of the trucking industry, we want to make sure, because we certainly hear a lot of bad things, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we've got to make sure we're telling the good things that we do, the lives we saved, the animals we did, you know. And Dave, I know your story probably is a squirrel you avoided, right?
No.
So talk to me. What have you ever? I mean, this person here. So let's just go to this. So the winner of this one, there was a car on fire.
Correct.
Went in there, saved some lives.
Correct. Pulled them out of a burning car.
A burning car.
Was in the right place at the right time.
Let me tell you something. Your adrenaline is going when that's happening, right? You're not thinking straight.
Absolutely.
You're going in there, and that's what he said. You know what? I had to go in there and save lives. I just thought about what if it was my family, and he just did it.
Yeah. And you know, good. He definitely a hero in action. I will tell you, you know, there was a. So can I give you a personal story?
Give me a story.
All right.
Is it true?
It's a true story.
Because we can't fact check you on this one.
So I was heading eastbound on I-10 out of L.A. going towards Phoenix. And it's a slow roll there in that area in Phoenix. I mean, in Arizona. And it's just on I-10. And I was in the hammer lane and I was behind a car. We were just going down the road and we were passing a slower truck. And then all of a sudden, the car in front of me drifted off of the road into the median, hit an embankment, launched into the air, and rolled like this and landed on its hood. Me and 3 other truckers pulled over immediately. No one else pulled over. Me and 3 other truck drivers pulled over and ran over, and there was 2 women in the front seat and a baby in a carriage deal in the back seat. We got them out, kicked the windows in, got the women out, and let me tell you, it's hard disengaging a seat upside down in a car. It's not as easy.
They're not meant to come off, right? I mean, they're there for a reason.
Yeah, they're there for a reason. The baby was not making a word, and we were really scared. And then finally, The minute the baby got in the mother's arms, they had cut glass and there was nothing going on with the baby. But the baby never made a sound until it got in the arms of its mother, and then it started crying. And let me tell you, that was a scary moment. Called 911, and they were like, well, is everybody okay? I was like, there's an infant. If it's hurt, it can't tell me it's hurt. You need to get me an ambulance here. And they were like, okay, it's on its way. And then the 3 other truck drivers took off. I waited for the police to get there. And basically, and when they got there and the ambulance got there, I took off. He said, thanks for everything. And the ladies were really shooken up. But I'm telling you, she fell asleep at the wheel.
Oh, golly. And that adrenaline day when that's happening, right?
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not thinking of anything?
No, nothing else. Not anything else but getting them out and making sure they're okay.
Hey, do we have any of you? Do you have a story to tell? If you do, raise your hand, call on Jack, let us know that you're ready to talk. Dave, on that again, so when we hear about that part right there, the window. Did you have to somebody kick the window in?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, that's not an easy thing either, right?
No. Okay, so
did you watch it get done?
No, the window. I pulled out my pocket knife, we cracked it, and then kicked it in to get in there. But we were, what you got, Jack?
We got 2 callers on the line. Brian Winstar.
What's going on, Mr. Winsauer?
Good morning, everybody. Hey, I guess just kind of bragging on myself a little bit, but I really was reminded of this happening a couple days ago when I don't remember the woman's name, the Truckers Against Trafficking representative. But this was not that long ago. It was maybe a year or 2 before I came to BCB. I was at a TA truck stop in Bloomington Normal. I'm sure we've all been there a million times. Not one of the nicest TAs in the country, for sure. But anyways, so I get up about 3:30 a.m. I start walking in the truck stop, to get my coffee, whatnot. And right about to the fuel island, there's this young, super pretty, just really innocent-looking girl. Clearly, teenage girl, not underage, totally a minor. Excuse me. And she asked me if I can give her a ride, and I'm like, where do you need to go? She goes, just wherever you're going. Yeah, I just need to get away. And I was like, let me get my coffee. I'll be back in a minute. Hang out. I left my phone in my truck, so I go inside and I go straight to the field desk and I tell the woman, we need to call the cops now. And she said, what's going on? And so, anyway, so she did. She called 911, and I was hanging by the fuel desk and just kind of watching the girl out there by the fuel island, waiting for the cops to get there. And then this other, I'm sorry to be, I'm not Brad Pitt or by any means, or I don't look as good as Mr. Burkowski, but this guy was just a total scumbag. He pulls up and she talks to him, and no hesitation, he opens up his door, and she was starting to get in that truck, and I'm just like, oh crap, what do? I can't let this happen. So I start to go out to the fuel island just as the police pulled up, and come to find out there was a group home, a girls' group home less than a mile or so away from the truck stop, and she had run away. But God only knows what would have happened to that poor girl if we had just let her go away. And so anyway, after that interview, I just haven't been able to stop thinking about that situation and what could have happened.
Yeah, and Brian, that's a great story on that. And you know what? There's so many different ways that we can be heroes out there on the road, that y'all can continue to do that. That's a phenomenal story. And you know what, Brian, you may have saved somebody's life or the life path of somebody. Let me tell you, it's scary out there what y'all see, and action is required. Absolutely,
and getting involved is necessary in those instances. Just standing by and doing nothing is exactly how bad things happen. And by doing something, no matter how small, it's a big deal. And Brian, by you going and talking, it's a big deal. And you know what? I recommend and I encourage each of you to get TAT certified. I got TAT certified this week, Truckers Against Trafficking. So I am a trucker against trafficking. And I recommend, it's about a 30-minute video, and it's about 15 questions. And after that, you are certified to be a trucker against trafficking. So, Brian, congratulations on that. You always got to do something. You want to do something. Then bad things can happen. Great job. Hey, Jack, give me another caller.
All right. Up next, Mr. Alan Arnold.
Hey, Alan, how you doing, sir?
Good morning, Mr. Rick, Mr. Dave. Hey, first, I sent Jack a message, and I told him that Mr. Dave had me until he mentioned that he was running, okay? I don't.
That's two of us.
I mean,
that's two of
Yeah.
By the way, this was years ago, Alan. Years ago, buddy. There was a time before. You should see video pictures of me when I first came here. I was a skinny guy. I wasn't skinny.
You're pushing it.
I was much skinnier. I was a flatbedder, Alan. I was skinny, and there was a time when I could run. Now I can't run from fire.
yeah. But, hey, a couple weeks ago, you know, I called and talked to Mr. Dale because I was getting ready to come across the bridge there on 276 going into New Jersey. It's 2 lanes, and this SUV come flying up on my left in the hammer lane, and no slowing down, no nothing, and I mean full force, just plowed into a pickup truck.
Ugh.
And buckled the frame of the truck from the cab and where the bed separate there, and I immediately, I mean, because I thought she was going to come over into me, but I got on the brakes, I stopped, and the airbags are deployed, and you can see all the smoke from the airbags.
Yep.
And they're just sitting there in a daze. It was her son and her. And I've got the door open, and her son was just, I can't explain it. I mean, he was just stunned. You know, he didn't know what to do.
He was in
Yeah,
shock.
he didn't know what to do, not to say, and it scared me. You know.
Absolutely.
So I just told him to sit there for a minute and, you know, get his bearings, and then got her the same way, and she's holding her chest because that impact from that steering wheel airbag, I mean, and she's right up on top of the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if, you know, it did internal damage or whatnot, but she's holding her chest, and, you know, I'm checking her and this and that, and then finally I call the cops. And look, all I'm going to say to you is this. I was nervous, I was upset, and they're sitting here asking a bunch of stupid, what you're thinking is a bunch of stupid questions, you know, and I'm trying to answer them. But I'm more worried about them, and I'm telling them, hey, look, you need to get a cop out here. You need to get an ambulance out here. And they're more worried about the traffic being stopped. I just, that blew my mind. I couldn't understand that, you know. But she turned out to be okay. But, you know, I just, that's what I'm saying. Don't just keep going. Stop. Do something.
Yeah, hey, Alan, I want to thank you for that. And Dave, you know, when Alan's saying that, too, there's just a lot of, I mean, there's something there, too, just to be with somebody. Because when somebody's scared or in shock, sometimes it's just nice to have somebody there with them as well.
Absolutely, a human.
Yes.
A human contact, you know, somebody to support you in that moment. And Alan, you did just by sitting there and asking them if they're okay and hey, relax, you know, sit for a minute. You're not alone. I'm here with you. You're good. That's a big deal, and that's very important. And I think I understand your frustration when you get on a 911 call because you're wanting something done immediately on a 911 call. And I understand that those are frustrating questions when they're asking about, but you know, people get hurt in traffic. If there's accidents out there in the traffic and it's continuing, more people get hurt. It becomes like this domino effect. And I understand the reasoning behind it, and I'm sure she's already typing away at getting somebody out there while you're talking. And I appreciate the frustration and the desire to get somebody out there to get there. I'm sure they're doing all of that, but they've got a job to do too, and very important. But great job in communicating with 911. You know, let's never forget the opportunity to call 911 and let them know where you are. I don't think anybody knows better on the road than a truck driver where you are, what mile marker you're at. I honestly, I just don't. Truck drivers just know what mile marker they're at.
They don't have to send a pin. They know where they are.
They know where they are.
Mile marker 183.
Yeah, exactly. And just truck drivers just know, even if it's within a mile of the next exit, they know where they are. And it's a good idea to step forward as a truck driver and make sure you know, hey, you're right here. This is, if you're calling 911, you're at mile marker 183 eastbound. Tell that to somebody so they understand where they are, because trust me, if they're not really a truck driver, they don't know.
Absolutely. And I know Drive Safe Dave may not have always known where he was, but he did know he was probably running late. Producer, give me another caller.
All right, we got 3 callers. Let's see. Oh, 4 now.
Let's do it.
Mr. Howard or Dwayne?
Dwayne?
Give him a second.
How about you, Dwayne?
All right. Oh, there he is.
You there?
Hello.
What's going on?
Good morning, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
we
sir.
do.
What you got for us?
Hey, Jack, we may have to go to another caller. We'll come back to him. Sounds like probably in a bad area there. Who else we got, Jack?
All right.
David Mason, top of the morning to you, sir.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, about 2018 or so, I was going north on 49 in Missouri, and I looked out. There was a pickup truck across the ditch, kind of up on a barbed wire fence. It just looked fresh. I just happened to look in the median, and I seen a body there. So I got off the shoulder, and I will come to the defense of Dave. I'm a big guy, and I need a new knee at the moment. But of course, back in 2018, it was my knee wasn't the greatest back then either. But
You still run.
I ran.
Yep.
Yeah, I ran. The adrenaline.
Absolutely.
I felt it later. I will tell you that it did.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did impact me, the running, but I did run. But I got down. It was a young teenage boy that had the same thing, falling asleep at the wheel, coming home from a friend's house at like 6:30, 7:30 in the morning.
Yep.
And he had actually, I didn't see the accident, but he was actually going south, away from Kansas City, and crossed the median and went across in the ditch on the right. But somebody else had been calling 911 when I ran up to the young boy, and I just talked to him, just held him, kind of got down on my knees, make sure his neck was straight, and just talked to him, just small talk. I asked him his name, if he was in high school and if he played sports, just to keep him talking, keep him awake, alert until help arrived. And I will say this: I used to be a first responder years ago. I used to be a cop, and don't move people unless they're bleeding out or they're not breathing, or if they're talking to you and you don't see blood pulling out everywhere, just kind of keep them calm. Try to keep them still if you can. If they're going to move around, you don't manhandle them down to the ground or nothing, but just try to get them to stay still until the paramedics arrive.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even if you stayed in a Holiday Inn the night before, right? Even if you did that. So, hey, David, thank you for that. And again, we love when we share these stories, David, because it just shows what we do, because we don't like to brag on ourselves in this industry. It's just what we do. And it really is. It's just what we do. Producer, give me another caller.
All right, Jesse Swain.
What's going on, Mr. Jesse?
There he is.
What's up, Jesse?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was westbound between up there in Tennessee on 40 between Nashville and Memphis there. I heard some guys talk about some ladies on the side of the road and everything. A good ways away and everything. That's well, somebody stopped and everything. And I heard another one holler, but when I got a little closer, I was like, well, and I made the turn over, kind of around the bend and everything. Saying that they're still sitting there, and I pulled over and stopped over to give them a hand over to see what I could do for them. And I got, parked a little bit from them, walked up there, and I asked her what she, was going on, because she'd been waving people down and trying to get somebody to stop for us or somebody. And she says that her car had lost deal. She needs some antifreeze or water or something other. I said, well, I've got a little bit of water, but it ain't going to be enough to help you there and everything. And she said something about the water hose clamp had came loose or something other. And she was following her husband and going to out to a lake somewhere, but he had kind of not realized she had, broke down. And it was during the summer, and it was extremely hot and everything. I said, okay, words, what I can do, I can give, take you one of you down there to the nearest truck stop, get somebody, back here and everything. She said, well, all right. She says, mentioned that she had her other daughter her husband was in the military, and she was in the back seat with a baby. And when she said that, I was like, do what? And she says, yeah. And it's hot out there. And it was even hotter in that car. And I told her, I said, no. I says, you get that baby and your daughter and everything. I says, and get her up there in my truck where it's cool and everything. I got some water for y'all, and y'all can, drink and everything. And I said, it's too hot for that baby being in that car and everything. I said, you get that baby, and I'll take all three of you down to the truck stop, and I will see to it that, I get you some kind of help to get back up here to your vehicle. But I says, that baby cannot be in that car, and that baby was sweating and everything, starting to dehydrate and everything. And I got her and the two girls in the back. She sat in the passenger seat and everything, but I took them down to the truck stop. I stayed there until I got her a ride with somebody to help her to get water in the vehicle and everything. And she thanked me so much. She told me, she's from Nashville there. And I still got her phone number today. She told me, anytime you come through Nashville, you just give me a heads up. I will cook you the best dinner that you ever had and everything. She says, I appreciate you stopping and helping, just not me and my daughters, but my grandbaby here that was just born. And the first time she got to see the grandbaby and everything, because like I said, she had been in Germany with her husband, and actually the baby was born in Germany and everything.
Wow.
And they had just brought it home so that they could see it.
Wow. Great story on that. And
Good job, Jesse.
and she's offering to cook you lunch or dinner too, and odds are she's probably single after her husband just kept on driving to the lake. He was looking for a quiet weekend, it sounds like.
Not watching behind of the family, But you know what? Great job, Jesse. And you know what? That's what it takes sometimes. And I'm just going to say that when you're a driver out there on the road and you've been out there a long time, you see things other people don't see because of what you do. You're in the middle of it all the time, and you're out there on the road, and you see bad things happen, and you're near when bad things do happen, and you're going right by there, and you're going to be, and sometimes just a simple 911 call is all it takes to make things right. Who else you got, Jack?
All right, up next we have Warren Jackson.
Cool dude, what's going on, man?
What's going on, Warren?
Warren, you bashful now? Come on, cool dude.
You might have hit the hands up button by accident.
I doubt that.
All right, let's try Donna.
Miss Donna, good morning to you, ma'am.
What's going on, Donna?
Well, good morning. Hey, about 5 years ago, I was running my hotshot pickup in Louisiana, and I was in the Lafayette area, and I noticed this lady's car was smoking, and I knew it was fixing to catch on fire. Everybody was just driving around her, and I'm just thinking, oh, no. So I pulled over, and I called the police. They got a fire truck there, and this lady wanted to go back to her car and pull out her kids' hockey clothes and stuff. And I said, ma'am, I don't want you to get hurt in case this thing decides to blow. And I said, that can be replaced. I said, but your life cannot be. And I stayed with her until the fire department showed up. and her car was just totally engulfed in flames, and
It don't take long.
you know, I just, you know, and she was upset, you know, and I understand that, but you know, I said your life is more important than your son's hockey clothes, you know. So I tried to keep her calm and stay with her until, you know, the fire truck showed up. But that was pretty scary, and nobody would stop. They just kept going, and I'm just going, wow. I couldn't do that. I had to stop and try to help her and keep her safe just in case. So that's all I had. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you. And Dave, these, you know, what we have out here, and they really are, I mean, they've been heroes, you know, and unfortunately really been recognized as heroes big time over the last couple of years,
Absolutely.
right? But they've been our highway heroes since I was a young kid. That's what they were always known as, a truck driver. You know, you can always count on them, and I don't think that's really gone anywhere. I just don't think we talk about it enough. I think that we have a lot of heroes out there, and I just think that, you know, I think from what Brian said, you know, maybe some people wouldn't consider themselves a hero, but let me tell you something. You made a difference in the life of somebody.
Absolutely.
All of these things that you do out there on the road make a difference, and when you think about these fires, again, Donna talked about the lady going back into a fire. The Andy Wright of Jacksonville, Illinois, the guy that won the Goodyear Tire and Rubber winner of the Highway Hero, he jumped into a burning vehicle, and we got a picture here. It wasn't long ago. We had some trucks that caught on fire, and Jack can get that going here for a second, but those fires are for real, Dave.
Absolutely.
I mean, these tractors, when they catch on fire, it's fiberglass. They're going to go fast.
Yeah, and not only that, you got fuel, you got propellant and rubber, and once tires get going and they pop and they burn, rubber burns, there's oil all over the truck. I mean, there's all kinds of flammables that come with a fire, and you know what? They jump from truck to truck quickly. These fires burn hot, and it doesn't take much for them to catch the next vehicle on fire once they get going. That's why you have to stay away from them. They burn with such intensity and such heat. It doesn't take much before the next thing it catches in flame.
Yeah, so we want you, obviously to be wary of that for sure, but understand the power of the fire, and when it hits these trucks, it's just amazing. I mean, as a matter of fact, Dave, we had there was a driver on a NASCAR driver that got killed March 8th over here in East Texas. His tractor ran into the back of a box truck, something like that, and
flipped over
his cab caught on fire.
Yep.
And died, gone. Let me tell you something. It happens like that.
Yeah, it's very quick, and it happens. I'll tell you, you've got to be careful and mindful, and you know what? Make sure that you're ready to call 911. And not. I'm not asking anybody to run into a fire, but I am asking you to do the right thing and be involved in which way ever you can to help out your fellow person out there on the road. It is necessary.
Hey, drive safe, Dave. It's time for that phrase that pays. And do we have the randomizer again? We're going to use the random spill thing, so maybe drive safe. Talk to me while we think this through.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you. There it is, the randomizer. Click to spin it. Is it already spinning?
This is like roulette. I'm going.
No, you just tap it.
Click it, Rick.
I'm going right here.
Yeah, just there. You
I'm
go.
going green. Green for $25. Drive safe, Dave.
Okay, I'm going yellow.
All right, 25. Dadgummit.
Oh wait.
Green.
Robert Mansfield.
Hey, Robert Mansfield. Do you know that phrase that pays in drive safe? I need my $25. I'm up 25 right now.
Put it on the account.
I don't know if he's here. Let's see. Wonder if his name's.
We've got to get it. I asked Bryce to get us a new randomizer because
it's okay. It's okay. I like this one right here.
Okay.
We're up to $200. You know what? And I love it. And I just won 25 myself. Let's do it again. Hit close and let's do it and roll it again. Bam. Here we go. I'm going green. Drive safe, Dave, for 25. You got to.
Double or nothing.
You didn't choose a color. William Rogers. Mr. Rogers, are you there? Do you know that phrase that pays?
All right, he's allowed to talk, but is he listening? Will
Here we go, Mr.
unmute
Rogers.
himself?
They always know the phrase that pays. Let me tell you that.
Yeah.
He's
William
muted
Rogers
right now.
for $200. Do you know that phrase that pays? And you still owe me a quarter, Drive
No, you lost it.
No.
It wasn't great. You lost
He's,
it.
he's still muted. He's still muted.
All right. Well, you know what?
That's
We got to go. We got to spin.
One
Here
more.
it goes. I'm up 25, Dave. I'm picking
You're
blue.
dead. How are you up? You were wrong. How are you up? You
No,
were
it's-
wrong.
if it got it, you win. If you don't, you don't. I got it again.
That was yellow.
Miss Lou, for $200, do you know that phrase that pays?
All right. She's unmuted.
Lou.
No, I don't know. I don't let no
That's
hand
strike three.
from me.
You know, Lou, that's a strike 3, and all that means for next week is that it's up to $300 for that phrase that pays. Drive safe, Dave. Give us that phrase that pays.
All right, I think this is a good one. This talks about this.
Just tell me what it is.
Well, I'm
Just look at
working on
me
it.
eye to eye and tell me what that phrase that
Okay, I'm going to look you right in the eye, Sir Rick, and give you that phrase that pays. What's on your mind might be your heaviest load. Don't let it distract you while driving on the road.
I'm going to hit on that one, then Drive Safe, Dave. You know what? When y'all are on that road, you know, just like a car, anybody, there is so much on your mind.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're thinking about the family, maybe that baseball
Stress.
game you missed. Maybe you're thinking about, you know, that argument you had with your spouse, and
Price
or
of fuel.
maybe you lost a loved one, you know, a dog, an animal, you know, mom, dad, brother, sister. Maybe somebody's going through some stress on that, and it's on your mind, and you find yourself just thinking about that, and you can get distracted when that happens. It is a distraction, and what we want you to do is somehow, and I know, you know, you drive for 10 hours a day. I mean, for how much of that time, you know, are those things going on your mind? And what we want you to do is when it becomes unbearable and you start losing patience, you start losing focus, even if you're crying, especially if you're crying out there on the road, because Dave, that music, the silence, your mind can do that to you. Sometimes it's just time to get off the road, and we want to make sure you do that because it is a distraction, and it could be the difference in saving life, or you know, or just get into an accident. Something bad happened. You know, get off the phone, pull off, make that phone call. Then Drive Safe, Dave. We're coming up next with Dale Kellen. Double check Dale with more BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
Good Friday morning, everybody, and welcome to the safety portion of the show this morning on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale in front of the camera. You got Jack running the control boards this morning. We're going to talk a little bit about some traffic and some weather, take a short break, and come back and talk safety and videos. Traffic in the Dallas-Fort Worth area currently not looking too bad. 35W over on the Fort Worth side. There's no slowdowns over there right now, so that's a good thing. Usually we see a lot over there. We come over to mid-cities, nothing major going on in the mid-cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area this morning. How about Dallas? Well, a little bit on the 635 up around where it hits 35 coming in the Carrollton area. A little bit in 635 between, that would be the Dallas North Tollway and 75. And then a little bit of traffic, heavy traffic in Mesquite on 635. Downtown area, Dallas, 45 going in, a little bit of heavy traffic there. And then on 80 out in the Forney area, you're going to see some heavy traffic on the westbound lanes. But wow, Dallas-Fort Worth looks really good this morning. Enjoy your Friday commute. We go down to Houston. You know, Houston doesn't look too bad this morning either. We're out on 10 coming in from the west right before you get to the SHT tollway. You're going to have some heavy traffic and slowdowns there. Outer loop really looks good all the way around Houston this morning. The inner loop, the 290, where it merges with 10 in Hillshire Village, Hunters Creek area. You're going to see some slowdowns there. And then, of course, the downtown area of Houston, we always see some slowdowns. 45 in South Houston, right where it merges with 610. Some heavier traffic going on there, so expect some slowdowns in that area. But overall, again, Houston really looks pretty good this morning too. As we roll into Kansas City, there's been a little bit of weather up there, so we're seeing a little bit of traffic delays, mostly out on the east side of town at the 70 and 470 merge point, Raytown area. Blue Springs is where you're going to see the slowdowns. Those are on the westbound lanes on 70 and 470. It's going to be the southbound lanes. Expect some delays in that area. That's the Independence, Blue Springs. Downtown Kansas City, you know, a lot of heavy traffic and slowdowns, probably a couple accidents going down in the downtown area of Kansas City. So if you can avoid that, please do, because that's where you're going to see the most delays. That 435, for the most part, looks really good up there. 35 coming in from the north or going out of the north looks good. 49 from the south looks really good, and 35 coming up from the south looks good. So, you know, if you can avoid the downtown area of Kansas City this morning, you're looking okay. Getting out to Chicago, and Chicago I know has had some weather also, but the traffic looks really pretty good out there this morning. 90, 88, and 80 all coming in, look pretty decent. On 80, a slowdown in the New Lenox area. Other than that, looks pretty good. That 294 outer loop looks really decent this morning. Of course, once you get inside that loop, all the roads into the downtown area, you're going to see heavy congestions, but the outer roads look pretty decent this morning. It does look like we have an accident or something working over right on the Hammond area on 80-90 on the westbound lanes. A major area of slowdown there, so that's what your one trouble spot on 80 and 90, and that's in Indiana in the Hammond area. As we go to Atlanta 20, if you're on the west side coming in on 20, where it merges with 285, that's where you're going to see a major slowdown. That 285 loop on the south side of town looks really good this morning. Don't see any issues there. 285 loop on the north side of town, you know, in the Vinnings area, the southbound lanes look a little bit of a slowdown there. 285 in the Sandy Springs area, the slowdown, the heavy traffic is actually on Highway 19, US 19, not on 285 this morning. But then where you get to that 85, 285 merge point, heavy traffic, probably an accident or something working there because it's the dark red. So be prepared to have a slowdown in that area, 285, 85 merge point, and coming in on 85 southbound lanes right before that merge point, heavy traffic there also. If you're on 20 on the east side of town, over by Conyers, you're going to see a slowdown on the westbound lanes, the traffic that's heading west, major slowdown there. So pack your patience out in that area. 75 south of town, 85 south of Atlanta, both look really good this morning. Hey, Nashville. Nashville doesn't look too bad. We do have a slowdown on 40 coming into town from the west. So be aware of that right before you get to the 155 Briley Parkway outer loop. 24 and 65 at the merge point, all the way down into the Nashville, the loop area. Heavy traffic there, but the loop and down the inner loop in Nashville looks really good this morning. 2440 split on the southeast side of town. That's you're going to see some heavy traffic in that area. And then if you're on 24 coming into Nashville from the south, starts all the way back in Laverne area and all the way to the Briley Parkway. Heavy traffic. Going to see lots of slowdown. So pack your patience in that area because traffic is heavy. Probably going to be a lot of stop and go. 40 out to the east looks good. And so Nashville overall not too bad for a Friday morning. We go to D.C. Baltimore area. Washington, D.C., 66 where it comes in from the west and merges with 495. That's going to be a trouble spot for you, as is 495 in the Annandale area. Very heavy traffic there. If you're taking 395 inside the 495 loop to downtown D.C., heavy traffic on the southbound lanes there. North side of Washington, D.C., up in the South Kensington area, through White Oak over to Beltsville, that 495 loop, very heavy traffic all the way over to Seabrook, or where it merges with US 50. So you got some heavy traffic on the northeast side of DC this morning. That's going to be your problem area. If you're taking 295 north out of DC to Baltimore, heavy traffic there in that South Laurel area. Actually, both directions there have heavy traffic, probably a accident or something going on. So be aware of that. South Laurel on 295. The 95 going up to Baltimore looks really good this morning. Once you hit Baltimore, you have really good traffic this morning. Your trouble spots are going to be 70 out on the west side of town, and then that 695 loop in Pikesville area and 695 loop up in the Hampton area. But overall, not too bad of traffic in Baltimore this morning either. Let's take a look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia, it's at 76 coming into town, downtown, that you're going to see the problems. But it really doesn't start as far out west as normal. It's in the Narberth area that we see the trouble in 76 this morning. Downtown area, very heavy traffic. You know, other areas, 95 in the Tioga Park area, Richmond Street, where it merges with Richmond Street. Got an accident or something working there. Very heavy traffic there on 95 going north. Coming over to the Jersey side, the Belmar area, where 295 and the 130 merge, got some heavy traffic there. But 295 and the Jersey Turnpike both look pretty good this morning going north. Hey, if we look at Indianapolis, all the roads coming in from the west, 65, 74, 70, all look really decent. All the roads going out of town look the same. The problem area in Indianapolis is going to be the north side of the 465 loop this morning, where 465, 865 merge. Very heavy traffic there. And then through the Nora area on the north, or that'd be the westbound lanes, very heavy traffic there. So if you're in Indianapolis, everything looks really good except the north loop in the 465. And with that, let us go to some weather. And there's quite a bit of stuff going on today. I got some snow and some heavy precipitation in different parts of the area, but we're going to start off with wind. Currently, the winds aren't too bad. They're picking up a little bit here in the central Texas area, and then up in the upper Midwest, we're starting to see the winds starting to pick up there. And we're going to see some pretty strong gusts this afternoon, and so you have to keep an eye on that. If you're in central Texas or most of Texas today, there is a wind advisory, strong winds with gusts up to 40. And then if you're up in the upper Midwest, that being northern Iowa, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, North Dakota, you're going to see some very strong winds starting to develop up there today also. So just be aware of those. As we move into this afternoon, the winds in Texas are still there, but they do start to subside as the evening hours come on, as do the winds up in the upper Midwest. And so just have to be aware, situational awareness, be aware of where you're at. And, if the winds pick up, slow it down. If you see where the gusts get over 40, you need to pull it over and park it up because it's just really not safe trying to drive where the winds are gusting over 40. Going into tomorrow, the winds don't look too bad there. We do have an area of high winds up in Wyoming, and that'll be the Elk Mountain area. Also the Front Range in Colorado, we're going to see some winds. I think out in the east, we'll see winds also starting to pick up out there because there's some storms starting to go through out in there, and we're seeing that in through Georgia, North Carolina up through the Virginias into Pennsylvania tomorrow morning. We'll see some pretty heavy winds up in that area, all the way down into Alabama and Mississippi. I think there's some thunderstorms also rolling through the area there. Let's take a look at what precipitation is going to be doing. And we got a lot going on right now. Currently, we have a band of snow. Really starts down on Albuquerque, south of South New Mexico, way down on the Mexican border. We're seeing some rain there. And then as it comes up through New Mexico, we're seeing snow through the panhandle of Texas right now. It's getting some snow through most of central Oklahoma, central Missouri, central Illinois, northern Indiana is all getting snow right now. Most of Texas, central and east Texas, is either getting, some ice pellets. There is a couple areas of freezing rain in the Abilene area, and then a little bit further north up there. Dallas right now, is expecting a little bit of rain, and then some rain in the Gulf Coast area, Florida and Georgia, southern Alabama. As we go into about noon today, that the rain and the snow starts to shift and decrease a little bit. And we're still seeing some rain through central Texas and down in the Gulf Coast of Texas, Houston on south. The snow has shifted a little bit further south. Still Oklahoma City at noon could be seeing some heavy snow and mixture of snow. Southern Missouri and northern Arkansas will be getting it, and the snow has moved to southern Illinois, and central Indiana, Ohio will be picking up. And again, the rain seems to have intensified in the Alabama and the Georgia area, so those are some pretty heavy storms going on down there. I have this afternoon around 4 o'clock. The snow pretty much exits Oklahoma, and it's just in the far southern part of Missouri, southern part of Illinois and Indiana, going up through Ohio. But the rain is persisting out in the southern Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, parts of Florida, so we have to keep an eye on that. So a lot of rain there, so they've been getting quite a bit there, so be aware of flash flooding and localized flooding. As we go into the overnight hours, what does the precipitation do? That precipitation really shifts to the east, and we are seeing snow tonight, predicted snow as far south as southern Alabama or northern Alabama, through the central part of Tennessee, most of Kentucky, up through Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania starts picking up snow this evening, so a lot to watch out on the east with that storm going on. And with that, we'll take a quick look at temperatures, see if we're going to get any relief from that. Currently, when we look at temperatures, we have freezing temperatures as far south as, far south as, the Red River in Texas. Lubbock is at 26, Oklahoma 26, St. Louis is at 27. So if they're getting precip, it's right at that line where it's starting to freeze or where it causes some trouble, all the way up through Indiana. It does warm up throughout the day. It really gets pretty decent in most of the U.S., but then let's take a look at what happens in the overnight hours. That cold really drops far south this evening. Jackson, Mississippi is expecting freezing temperatures tonight, so is Dallas. As far as North Carolina, western North Carolina, expecting freezing temperatures. So an awful lot going on with the weather, and we'll keep you tuned into that. Be safe out there, and with that, we're going to take a short break.
Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got some more cold weather, a little bit of crappy weather. Dale, can't you do any better than that?
No, I'm telling you what, buckle up, Bob. Takes a couple days off and the weather just goes to crap. And you're right, there's a lot of it, and it's pretty widespread for the next 24, 48 hours. But you know, by Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon, it's pretty well clears the U.S. again, and things will get back to normal.
Then we got another week, right? I mean, Dave, drive safe. When's the last day? I think, you know, we made a bet on how many.
5. It was under 5. We got 2. This will be 2. I already looked at it.
I think this is going to be 3. Tomorrow will be 4. I think we lost that bet. It's cold again today. I mean, it's cold in Texas. These old bones can't handle it. I don't care how fat I get. I'm still cold. What do we got going on for safety, sir?
Safety, we've been talking about speeding all week and just the different effects of it, what the effects of it are. And today, you know, one of the effects of speeding is it's expensive. I mean, speeding costs. I mean, when you get in an accident and you're speeding, the collisions are more severe, and so that means there's increased damage to the property. If there's an injury, the injuries tend to be worse, and so your recovery times are longer and everything. So just another thing about speeding, it just is expensive. Oh yeah, by the way, with fuel prices, when you speed,
you burn more fuel.
You burn more
fuel. Let me
fuel.
tell you something. You know what? Some of you, I've heard it said, and it just, I don't get it. I get better fuel mileage the faster I go. Said nobody. Let me tell you something. You'll never hear that on a NASCAR where they're going, I'm running out of fuel. You never hear say, well, go faster. Yeah. That doesn't happen. They slow down. They shut the engine off. They do anything they can other than to put any speed on the car.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I governed my own truck just so that I governed my own truck so I wouldn't go too fast because my foot would get heavy. My foot would get way too heavy.
Did your truck kind of govern itself because it would start shaking? Dave,
Dave,
be honest. Let's hop into some videos. All right, video 1. Dale, what do we got?
You know what, these are cold videos because I haven't looked at them, but I'm going to tell you right now, we've got some great space and some great following distance right here. Driver is doing a very good job of managing it. And then, of course, we got to see somebody pass on the shoulder. Why? I don't know because
twice.
Wow,
twice. So here it is. You got 2 lanes that merge right here. They come together.
Oh, I know that.
And then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? I still think there's a lane out
Junior,
here.
Wait for me. I'm right behind you.
Wait. Hold on, Carl. I'm coming around.
Yeah, listen, Zimmy, you got to watch out for these folks. Do your part, though. Drive safe. You know, let them get around you. That's the important thing. They've got somewhere way more important to go than you have.
Oh, yeah, that's probably the family dollar.
Yeah, that's outside of Houston, so that's right outside of the woodlands. So it start losing all your lanes there. No one realizes it.
Yep.
I've seen so many close calls there before, so.
Yeah, it's not like it's not marked that the lanes are ending. You know, here we are going into construction zone again. We're seeing, you know, a sign that says getting over. So we just have to have that situational awareness and get moving over a little bit faster, slow down a little bit quicker when you start seeing those brake lights.
He brake checked it.
Yeah,
he brake checked it. He brake checked the truck.
Yeah. And so that situational awareness, that big picture, seeing what's going on well ahead of that, and you know, making adjustments to it.
I don't know if he brake checked. I think he was letting somebody in.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Somebody came in.
He did brake check, but if he didn't brake check, then he would have hit the car in front of him. But again, remember what Dale's also saying with situation awareness. You see the signs, you see the arrows. When you can, safely get over to the left lane and watch your speed. And great job on having the ability to stop it, you know, when this was going on up ahead of you. Good job.
All right, looks like we got, you know, 3 lanes of traffic, merge points coming up and everything. The driver's doing a great job of slowing down, exhibiting some courteousness and letting the traffic ahead of him get on, merge safely, and keeping a great following distance there.
That is, you know what?
Good job.
That's a Sir Rick Award right there. A Sir Rick Award for having patience, for staying in that lane, for backing off, for all of that craziness and chaos that's going on around you. This one here, let me tell you something. They need they need some iron. Iron sharpens iron. Okay. That, my friend, is what you see a knight. That's a knight in hard driving right there. Great job.
My God.
Yes.
No.
Okay. Again, another merge point coming up, our lane separating. There's that four-wheeler that, I'm in the wrong lane, got to come all the way across a couple double lines. You find yourself in this situation. If you're the driver in this situation, just take that exit, go up to the next one, turn around, don't come across
Little
a bunch of
distracted
traffic.
at the last minute. Little distracted, realizes I'm all the way in the right. I need to be all the way on the left.
Yeah, and so many things can happen bad there because he really cut it close. If he catches that curb or median or some of the grass or anything, real easy to lose control. It's like I said, just go to the next exit, turn around, you'll make it there. Just showing conditions, and a driver in this video's got the speed lowered, doing a really nice job, and then sees a couple of things here, really going probably way faster than conditions allow.
Come on, man!
Tailgating, there's tailgating there. It's a freight train. It's like just so much. Driver does a great job backing off, getting away from the chaos in it. So you just gotta let stupidity go.
There's no chance this second truck has the ability to stop.
Nope.
There's no chance. No. It doesn't make any sense. And you know what I love about these, Dave, is we get more and more drivers sending these in, which means they're hitting that emergency key or button somehow on their own device, but they're noticing these from other people.
Absolutely.
And that's phenomenal. That means that you're catching on, and that's what we want. We want to make sure that this can't be you. And when you catch yourself tailgating, and it happens, Dave,
Yep.
what do you have to do?
Just back off.
Back off.
It's really
that simple.
You
say a prayer.
When you look at this and you said there's no way he can stop, basically the driver in the second is not prepared to stop, and you always have to be prepared to stop. You're not setting yourself up for success.
You've got to be pushing the truck. You're putting added pressure on the truck in front of you. All of this, yes, and it's just not the way. That's not what we do. And man, I wish we could. I would love to find this driver, Dave, and just show them this video and say, man, what are you thinking? Do you realize how dangerous this is? And even us, our listeners right now that are watching this, or the viewers, this is so stinking dangerous. And this is why we show you these videos, so you can catch yourself when you get like that. Because I get it again, it's going to happen.
Yeah, look, so when the driver here realizes these two are together, he kind of moves over way to the right of the lane to just be out of the way of that chaos. You can absolutely see that doesn't want any part of it.
And what we got going on here, just start with some good following distance. Things are going well, and then this 18-wheeler is going to change. He's going to change a couple lanes all at once. And, we talk about that, control that lane, change one lane at a time, make sure that it's clear before you go over. And so just a reminder, and again, what you're saying, Rick, just love seeing it when our drivers start pushing the emergency button, recognizing what other drivers are doing. There's some great job here by the driver, staying away from it, backing off, and letting that 18-wheeler get over wherever he needs to be.
And Dave, what we talk about when we see these videos is that vehicle in front of us, we want it to own that lane before it goes to the next one, right?
Yeah, you want to secure the lane. You want to make sure you control the lane before you move to the next lane. And the driver evidently didn't do this, pulling the grain hauler. So, you got to make sure that you're there. You do what you have to do to control the lane you're in before you move to the next one.
All right. Those are some great videos. What a great way to end that off. I think that we saw a lot of drivers, the videos today that they recognized something wasn't right.
Yeah, almost every single one of them was somebody else out there on the road, and it demonstrating the hazards that they have to face every single day. It's
kind of like what I do around here, right? I just sit back and I catch what you do wrong. Drive safe, Dave. And you can make a living doing that. Let me tell you something. Hey, who do we have on the phone, Jack?
We actually have 3 people on the line right now. Let's go with Mr. Gerald.
Hey, Gerald, good morning to you, sir.
What's up, Gerald?
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We do.
What you got going on, brother?
Hey, that first video there with them 2 4-wheelers passing on the left side, that was me yesterday. Yeah, I just passing a slower truck there, and I look over in my mirror, and here come one, and dadgum, if his buddy didn't come right behind him, you just don't know out there.
Carl Jr. came running around you.
it was wild. I said, I got to push a button on that one. Rick's going to love this.
Hey, we appreciate that. Thank you for being safe, and thank you for noticing those things and for making safe decisions as much as you can out there on the road, Gerald. We thank you. Hey, producer,
right.
Who else do we have?
All right, Alan Arnold.
Hey, Arnold, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Mr. Rick, two things. One, I want to recap on that accident I was telling you about. When I was talking to her, all she kept asking me was, sorry about that, all she kept asking me was, did you see what happened? And I told her, you never stopped. She said, all I did was reach down for my Easy Pass monitor. That little couple of seconds is what caused that accident. Second thing I want to ask you is this. I got a math problem for you, please. And the reason I want to give you this math problem is because it's for the owner-operators.
Can we go true or false?
Okay. It's for the owner-operators and those who are looking for a company, okay? Because this is going to go back to what we were talking about the other day. So take 59 times 6, and then whatever that equals, okay, subtract it from whatever the fuel cost is right now, and that's basically what you're paying at the pump, okay? This is important. Now, I'm just going off of 6 miles a gallon. I'm getting 7.2. I run every trip through the mountains, and how do I get 7.2 running through the mountains? I don't idle.
Thank you.
That is a huge difference. So I'm trying to preach this, okay? It's not that I'm better than anybody else, but guys, we're facing some hard times with this fuel. I'll let you go.
Thank you, Alan. And with that, we're just going to hop into that. Is that you've got to manage your business. You know, you can't just count on rates or whatever, just staying high and fuel staying low. You've got to manage your business every day. Whether the fuel is $1.50 or $5.50, you've got to reduce that idle time because that is pure cash out of the bottom line. That's the most important cash that you ever have is that money you don't spend. Because when you think about it, you have to run miles to create cash. And if you can create cash without having to add any extra miles, it's all added onto it. You've got to make sure you're doing that part. Idling is huge. Watch your idling. I get it's hot, it's cold. Watch what you can. You are, for the most part, business owners or you're working for a company that needs you to do the same. Watch your speed as well, right? That speed makes a difference. You don't have to go 71, 70, 69. You can go lower. You see those Raider trucks out there running, you complain about them, but they're top-notch on their fuel as well. Make sure that your air pressure is also fine and your tires is sitting where it needs to sit. All of that makes a difference, and it makes a difference all the time, but especially right now when fuel is what it is. You've got to make sure you're doing your part. Your company needs you to. And if you're an owner-operator, your company needs you to still. Make sure you do that. Our dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this day. We ask you to be with these drivers as they continue to fight through some of this weather. Keep their minds safe. Keep their minds free from the distractions. Give them the courage to continue to try to always do the right thing. Man, when they get a chance to be a hero, Lord, we ask that you put on their heart to make that call, to call 911 or to do the right thing even on that, and you be with them during that. Thank you for everything. Thank you for sending your son. Watch over this world. Be with the leaders of this world. Be with the leaders of this company and all of these companies. Give us all the wisdom to always focus and do the right thing. It's in your son's name we pray. Amen. Everybody, we'll see you this afternoon. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll be here Sunday. And 2 out of 3 of us will be here on Monday, right here on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.